Good morning, God bless you. Welcome to Sunrise Stroll and Chat today. You can see the cloud is very intense. It's also very high. So it's given me a chance to come and show you something pertinent to something in the readings today. So I'm going to do a little brief stop here at the synagogue. We're on the Benefactor's Walk here, thanking all the people who have contributed to Magdala over the years, and some of you also in a very special way. And here we are coming towards the synagogue because I want to show you something there that's it's a very special thought about God that's common probably to many different cultures. How do you express God, How do you capture His attributes? This is the market area of Magdala, the excavated Magdala of 2,000 years ago. Look at this old drain. At home you cover up your old drains when you have special visitors. And we boast about them here, we show them off. So let me go over here. This is the fish processing infrastructure. That's the main theory of interpretation about this, although some archaeologists dispute it. But we're not going to stay here right now. So we keep going. And now we're here at our synagogue. Imagine somebody saying our synagogue. So we can actually do that from right here. Here we have those beautiful frescoes and mosaics, making this one of the most beautiful excavated synagogue from the first century ever discovered. So then here we have this deal here. So here we're inside, looking inside the synagogue, and we have these rows of seating. You can see 2 rows in the center and another row inside the outer wall all around. Actually, I can show you that right here as well, as I'm outside the southern side of the synagogue. There's the other seat right inside the wall here. You can see it all the way along there to the corner. Oops, the phone has got turning around on me. But I want to dwell on the Magdala stone. So here you can see that. And we found it here in the middle of the synagogue. This has the oldest menorah ever found on stone, and that's not the most important thing about it, even though that's very important. So on the opposite end from the menorah is what you're looking at now. And I want to show you this. Come on. There we go. So look at this end of the stone here. So here, I don't know what you're seeing, what you can make out, but one of the key the interpretation that we hear about this is that here you're looking at, let's describe it like 3 columns or 2 arches, and in the upper half of the 2 arches you see 2 wheels, and then you see burning flames of fire. So what does that remind you of in a biblical image? Wheels and flames of fire. What could wheels and flames of fire be? Do you have any thoughts? Wheels and flames of fire. So the chariot of fire. Ezekiel, very good. Ezekiel. And but before Ezekiel you have Elijah. going to heaven. And he's taken up in the whirlwind, but there's the chariot of fire. And so you have the wheels, and underneath you have 6 flames of fire under each wheel. 6 is actually a very frequent number on the Magdala stone. The one on the right is easier to see, the 6 flames, but there are 6 on each side. So the flames, the wheels and the flames of fire. So how does that tie in? Well, in Ezekiel, we see the burning wheels are leaving the temple. And actually that's what will be represented here. We're not going to spend much more on that this morning at this Magdala stone. We can do that another day. But the burning wheels on the temple, leaving the temple, burning wheels. So what does that signify? Well, the wheels are leaving the temple. Ezekiel is a prophet of the exile, like most of the prophets are, the time of the exile. And so he sees the wheels leaving the temple. Basically, God is leaving the temple. So the wheels of fire are representing God himself. So welcome everybody. We're at Sunrise Stroll and Chat here at the Sea of Galilee. The sunrise is behind schedule because there's lots of cloud. And today's reading, let me do the reading right here. And we're reading from Daniel, the book of Daniel, and we're in chapter 7. And in one of his visions, as I watched, thrones were set up, and the Ancient One took his throne. And actually, what's understood to be above the wheels here is the throne of glory. His clothing was bright as snow, and the hair on his head as white as wool. His throne was flames of fire. You see? With wheels of burning fire. Wow! A surging stream of fire flowed out from where he sat. Thousands upon thousands were ministering to him, and myriads upon myriads attended him. The court was convened, and the books were opened. As the visions during the night continued, I saw one like a son of man coming on the clouds of heaven. When he reached the Ancient One and was presented before him, the one like a son of man received dominion, glory, and kingship. All peoples, nations, and language serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that shall not be taken away. His kingship shall not be destroyed. So you see the throne of glory sitting on fire, wheels of burning fire. So how do you describe God? Like, what images do you do to communicate awe, to capture his power, his glory, his majesty? One of them is speed. Interestingly enough, etymologically, apparently the word God, theos, is got a you can't. How can you catch God? You can't catch up with him. You know, he's not within our control, within our grasp. And fire, like, who can handle fire? And then you have that great ancient Greek philosophy about fire being one of the constituent elements of the world. So I am giving you a little tour around because that sun is going to be late today. So here we see the menorah, the oldest menorah ever found sculpted on stone. And it's totally connected to the temple because everything on this stone is very temple related. So the amazing thing about this reading is how deeply, all the vocabulary, the concepts have been totally appropriated in the New Testament to express Jesus. The Son of Man coming on the clouds. Even those words are in Jesus' mouth when you see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. and the kingdom is already among you. This is another copy. We don't have any fake news here in Magla. Both are authentic copies. And that coin is from the year 29. And you can see Tiberius written on the left, and on the other side, starting below, going clockwise, Herodu Tetrarchu. Tiberius of Herod the Tetrarch. And Tiberius is just over here behind the flags. Okay, I need to sit this down to straighten this up. Sorry, folks. So you see Tiberius the high rises there. And this coin is from Tiberius the Tetrarch. That means Tiberius, Herod the Tetrarch of Tiberius, so that means Herod Antipas, who was alive in the year 29. And he made Galilee, Tiberias, the headquarters or the capital of Galilee, in the year 19. So now we're on this side of the stone just to get you a look again at the menorah. And then we're over here, we have the colonnades of the temple. That's one of the interpretations. And the oil lamp, and the same on the other side. And then up on the top we have the Rosetta, which some interpret as being the decoration of the veil before the Holy of Holies, and the showbread. And so now with that image of the wheels and the flame of fire. So why do we have this text today? Why do we spring from Jeremiah to Daniel? Well, today is a very special day, and it's a huge day at Mount Tabor. So let's walk back on this first century street here. Or maybe what we do is we go up here to get height more quickly, and we can see how the sun is doing. Watch your steps, please. Hold on to the rail here. So we're redoing the visitor center here, and there's the moon setting over Mount Arbel, the full moon. So there is a sign that the sun exists, and the sun in the Middle East, burning heat, the chariot of fire in Psalm 19, then the sun chasing its course from east to west, like a warrior leaving his bridal chamber. So all this imagery, because you see, God is so intangible, and how do you express him? How do you express God? Here we have the ritual baths for those who are curious, just to get a little look. But let's head on down now to see the sky. So how do you express God? And so fire and this whole imagery that he could sit upon fire, that that fire came forth. It's just one of those powerful images of power, of might, and the great realities of our experience on earth. This fiery sun, if I walk over towards them, they're going to start flying away. They want to draw me away from their spot. Oops, sorry about that. I'm hitting the tripod as I go. Not sure if we're going to see the sun this morning because the cloud is incredibly high over the Golan, so I think I will be saying goodbye before the sun comes out, or before it's visible. But that's a beautiful sky. I gave you a sunset last night over the Mediterranean. We were out there at the beach and we ended up the day watching the sunset. Maybe we'll have a surprise today. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll see. I'll post you on that. If you're in the WhatsApp group, you can see a little alert. If you want to be in the WhatsApp group, you just go there in the description of this video. It's already posted, and you just scroll down and there's an opportunity to sign up. The WhatsApp, for those who don't know about it, is an app that allows you all kinds of different communication possibilities, and it's all for free, and as long as I've had it for many years, I don't see any advertisements, so it's not a bother, and you only do as much as you want, and it's handy for communicating inside the family. And here for our Magdala family this works very well. Here we just walked by the port, First Century Port, so we ended up getting a little tour of Magdala this morning. And our favorite olive tree here. I think I'm speaking correctly for you guys as well. It's amazing what this tree has been through and is still bearing wonderful fruit. So let's stop here for a second and just enjoy this. So then the reading of Daniel, all this language is taken into the New Testament abundantly and very strongly. And actually the deepest criteria for which books were included by the church in the canon is that they speak of Christ. And this text, when those first Jewish believers were reading it, they clearly said, this is talking about Jesus. So there it is in the canon. So we're in Psalm 97. The Lord is King, the Most High over all the earth. The Lord is King, let the earth rejoice, let the many islands be glad. Cloud and darkness are round about him. Well, we've no shortage of cloud this morning. And why is cloud so important? Maybe we're not so attracted to the clouds, but you know, the cloud accompanied the people out of the desert, out of Egypt into the desert. It was a symbol of God's presence. Why? Because in the cloud, well, you can't see what's behind the cloud. And that's part of the expression of the mystery of God, that he's hidden from our eyes, but he's really there. And so this cloud is mysterious. I got an incredible picture of a cloud the other evening over Ducan Altum. I must post it sometime. Maybe I'll post it today in a comment. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord. So just think of that image to describe who is God. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord. And you really can't call this a mountain. This is like a hill for most places, but it's called Mount Arbel. You know, it's not that high. I can get up there in about 40 minutes, or well, an hour, let's say, easily. And probably if I was a little fitter and younger, I could get up there in 35 minutes. So you can't really call that a Fort Diener in Colorado, you know, or the Alps or the Pyrenees or the Himalayas, you know. So the mountains melt like wax before the Lord. You know, this idea of this total transcendence of God, this total omnipotence of God, and beautiful images to express it. because you, O Lord, are the most high over all the earth, exalted far above all gods. And then we head to we'll skip the second reading and we'll go to the gospel reading. And there we see Jesus took Peter, James and John and led them to a high mountain. You see again the mountaintop. And he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun. And his clothes became white as light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, conversing with him. And Moses and Elijah, that doesn't just mean two people. It does, and that's the way it's represented, but it means also, who's Moses? He represents the whole Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible. So, like the key authority leader of understanding the whole reality of God and his relationship to humanity. And Elijah, the one who's steering the people back to the truth, back to the original understanding. So in a way it's the whole Bible is there. The whole script, the Hebrew scriptures are there affirming Jesus. They're kind of waiting and they're flanking him. So that's putting him in the center. Then Peter said to Jesus, Lord, it is good we are here. If you wish, I will make 3 tents for you. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud cast a shadow over them, and from the cloud came a voice. You know, we have so much cloud today like never before, so that's kind of interesting. I haven't seen this much cloud blocking the sunrise. It would make me disappointed, but I'm so happy today because it's so fitting. Then a voice came from the cloud that said, this is my beloved Son. And who's speaking from behind the cloud? Well, the one who was in the cloud bringing the people out from Egypt, from slavery. And he's speaking from the cloud, and he's speaking about this person in front of them in Mount Tabor, that they know, the son of the carpenter from Nazareth. This is my beloved Son with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. When the disciples heard this, they fell prostrate. You know, there we have that image. Prostrate, down the ground in adoration. And this is a statement that's made in the Gospels about Jesus. And I must honestly, frankly say to my wonderful, dear Jewish friends and some others who say that Jesus was just a rabbi, and he surely behaved like a rabbi, I absolutely admit that. And Jesus was, you know, we can see like a more sociological thing. He's the son of a carpenter from a little village in Galilee called Nazareth. Okay, we get it. I accept all of that. But they divinized him, you know, in the 4th century, or a long time later. But how can you read the account of the Transfiguration, and it's in all of the Gospels, and it's in the letter of St. Peter that I skipped, how can you read this total conviction that the way they're describing him, a voice from the cloud, this is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased? It's absolutely amazing. They were very much afraid, but Jesus came and touched them, saying, Rise, do not be afraid. And when they raised their eyes, they saw no one else but Jesus, alone. You know, this whole sentiment also of the Hebrew scripture consciousness that you cannot see God and live. You know, it's too much. We cannot get that close. Like if we got a couple of million miles closer to the sun, we'd be fried. Like French fries you can't eat anymore. You know, we would be completely fried. We couldn't live in front of that heat, in front of that fire. Do not tell the vision to anyone until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead. Look, there you have it, the Son of Man. This language from Daniel, the book of Daniel. So, people, we're in front of a great mystery when we're talking about Jesus. We're actually in front of a great mystery when we talk about every single human being. But in the case of Jesus, it's something absolutely extraordinary. And the question is how these first disciples experienced him, the language they used to discover him. And there's the sun. Just before I say goodbye, there's the sun is out. The sun is out, people. Let's go there and check it out. We're here in Megla at sunrise stroll and chat. So sunrise, seeing the sun is very important. Look at that, people. Isn't this spectacular for the day of the Transfiguration? 6th of August. Isn't this spectacular? We are so blessed. I'm going to keep walking here to get over closer to home base because time is tightening up for me. Since we have the Mass at 7:15, and if possible I want to get a little dip, which yesterday morning I didn't get, but then I knew I was making up for it in the Mediterranean yesterday evening, so that was perfect. Look at this glory. So there we got the sun completely. Let's catch another spot here for a little artistic view of the sun. How about this spot here? Oops. Well, it's actually going behind that bit of cloud again, but that's okay. People, I will say goodbye. God bless you. See you later, alligators. May the Lord hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you for joining Sunrise Stroll and Chat this morning. Thank you for all your support, your prayers. Let's keep praying for peace in our world, for the glory of God to which we're all called. Maybe we'll talk about that at Mass now.